Alan's brother. He left it here on Friday.
That's his brother here.
Aliyah Sanashom of Meir Barak Ben Leib.
Oh,
Is it going through the wire or not?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's good. That's you see right away. It's
Huh?
good.
Yeah.
Meir Barak Ben Leib. Oh.
Meir better.
Who's calm?
Kalman, his father-in-law.
Meir better.
Our designated Ovid. I'm putting it here.
Well,
Okay.
this time I feel already a little bit. First time I came, that he didn't give me over the head for the done.
The big what?
Wait, you didn't give me a chance. I was busy with the wire. Wire, Aliyah Sanashom. Take it easy. I fill up some more water for the
This
sim.
and I left.
What?
I was gone for 3 days. Even
What page? Give me again the page. I can just look at it quickly.
Tough Lamed Zion, I think.
Middle?
Somewhere in the middle, yeah.
Oh wow, he's moving guys. Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay, listen, Simon, we're holding in the middle of page Taflan and Zayin. If you don't mind, let's not do it again because we did it twice. The beginning of Rish to Zayin, okay?
In the middle of Taflan and Zion?
Page Taflan and Zayin.
What do you want to not do again?
No, not again for the beginning because the beginning we did twice already for whatever reason.
Neach?
Huh?
Neach?
Reach. Yeah. Yeah, but Yorach Havai is Reach Neach.
So just a sec. So you want to can someone sum up?
I can sum up. I mean,
What was after Lechem and Reach?
he's still in the middle.
But what was said?
He asked. Okay.
Let's go. Make a kitzur if you
Okay.
can of Reish
Okay.
Yudal Reish Tezvav and help me with Reish Tezayin. Does anybody?
One second.
It may be a good exercise, but
Yeah,
everybody
for
should
sure,
make
for
a
sure.
kitzur.
No, you can.
One second.
Can you?
Yeah.
No. To me, it's an exercise, but for him, it's easy.
One second. Oh, 1 second.
Can
Rish
you-
Yudal is a whole concept of its own.
What is the
Rish
concept?
Yudal, it's klippus. He gave a whole explanation of what klippus is. Okay, he said like this.
Remember, talking. Let's just say the karbonis is aveda pitam bedas. Tzeni salev, and kteris is primius salev alba shalamayel mitam bedas.
Now,
One brings le odam is a ha'ara. One is mamish chibur of zoh and arich.
okay. Now, once he's talking about Keteris,
Then he applies that into birurim. Because remember the question was
okay, good.
the birur of tev shebenega.
Very good.
So,
And he asked the Chayre both Birurim. What's the
right, so
difference?
this is the, so what's the issue?
One second. Then Rish Yudal is all one concept. Explain. No, klippus. Explaining klippus.
Oh, Reish Yudal, right.
Rish Yudal. What is he explaining? Explaining that because Keteris is klippus, the Yudal of Kis and the Misavusik, the 11, right? Unlike Dusha, which is 10, because Eretz and Kelim go together, so it's 10. There's 10 spheres. When Eretz and Kelim go together, it stays 10. However, Keteris, because the Eretz do not go into the Kelim, because the Kelim have Yeshus, so you need 11. Unlike a Klipper, because the Eretz cannot go into the Kelim because the Kelim have Yeshus, that's why you need it to be 11. And then he explains the whole
In
system.
other words, their chayas is
Come from the 11.
Their
Which
chayas
is-
came in from Pnimi, it would just be swallowed inside.
Right. That's the Levina. And now he explains to you the whole system of Klippus. In Reish Yudal, he explains the system of Klippus.
The
He says,
Ketayis is to be mevatel that.
yes. One second. He ties it up very nicely at the end of Resh Tezvov, Simon. You see how you'll see in a minute. Now, Reish Yudal is explaining the system of Klippus. He says that what is
Well, let me just say, kedusha, the higher something is, the more takef it is, and klipa, the higher it is, the weaker it is.
Okay.
The lower it is takef.
Atik the Klippus.
What you just said?
Yeah, so
The
that's-
higher it is, the higher it's
So that's
located
what
in Kedusha.
Ulum hazel, leheper, kol ma sheyer l'mat b'chinas takef yesed, kedusha, kol ma sheyer l'mat b'smayit
Oh,
yesed.
and he tells you the system. He says exactly the system. He says Atik the Klippus is in Malchus de Asiyah.
Yeah, the lower it is because more takef, because there's more yeshus.
Now, let's start from the top. In top, in Atzilus, Lechere, there's no klippus. Now, there was homachlekes whether there's klippus in Atzilus or not, whatever. But on the top, there's no klippus because there's no yeshus. Because there's no yeshus, so the kelim are totally bottled, and because the kelim are totally bottled, there's no klippus. Now it starts, but that's where it starts. It starts over there. Now, it comes out that Chochmah Datzilis is totally bottled. There's no yeshus whatsoever in Chochmah Datzilis. Not even in Bina Datzilis. Bina Datzilis also. There's no yeshus whatsoever. So where does the yeshus start in Atzilis? In Zoh. So that means that in Zoh, the Atzilis starts the concept of Klippus. Only in Zoh. You come down to Bria. Bina is already has yeshus. What is Zoh?
Zero.
Because
The beginning of Messias.
Because Chochmah Datzilis is totally bottled. It shines completely. Mashenkin Zoh Datzilis doesn't shine as much.
In the that's
In Shon it doesn't shine, whatever. So that's why the Keli has a little bit of yeshus.
The why? I understand the why. Because it's just Lachutz already. The beginning of Lachutz.
What?
Because it's already Shayach Lachutz.
Shaykh Lechutz. Okay, good. Okay, good. Yeah, good. It's very shaykh to be. Good. You say that, and that's what we were trying to figure out here. Whether yeah. Yeah, good. We're trying to figure out
It's
whether it actually
Margish
happens.
the Bittel.
Yeah. So the question is whether it's mamish in Atzilas or like you're saying because it's shaykh Lechutz, it actually happens later. Whatever. But that's where it starts. Finish. Comes down to Bria. Yeah. Comes down to Bria. In Bria already Bina. The Bria already is not shining as much. So already the Klippa takes over. It's all it goes total opposite of Dusha. So there Bina has a little bit more yeshus. So that's why there's more Klippa. The Klippa starts in Bina. But Chochmah the Bria is still pure. There's no Klippas whatsoever in it. You come down to Yitzid, Chochmah already starts getting contaminated. So already come down to Asiyah, Atik. Already. That's what we said here, that Atik the Asiyah, no.
He said
Atik the Klippas is Malchus the Asiyah.
No, but he said actually, he said Atik Tzilus for you were saying.
Tzilus?
Yeah,
Klippas? No. Klippas I'm talking the opposite direction, doctor.
I understand.
So what's the problem?
You can say Atik Tzilus.
It's Klippas. Chas v'sholom. Even Chochmah is not. Why are you going like that?
He mentioned the words Atik Datzilis before.
Datzilis, not
Talking
Klippas.
about Atik Datzilis in a different context, not in the context of Atik.
Sure not. You have to look at it from the opposite direction.
I understand that.
Okay? So that's how he explains the whole system of Klippas. Finished. So as he goes, total opposite of Kedusha. Kedusha, the more you go up, there's more bittul, so there's more of it. And Mashenkin Klippas, the more you go down, there's more yeshus, there's more of it. Finished. All that's the ratio down.
No, he said Klippa Tzilus.
Klippa, yeah, okay. Klippa Datzilis is Zoh. Okay? Now, if you look just the end of Rish Tezvov, he ties it in with Ketores and Shemen, and the Ketores basically Simon, the avoid of Ketores, Simon, the avoid of Ketores is to get rid of the Yud Aleph, the 11th, to be mevarer the Yud Aleph.
Does he say the Yud Aleph is Beferish Atik?
I don't know. He said Yud Aleph is Levaino. Good question.
Okay.
Does he say the Does it say the Ferish Yud Aleph is Atik? I don't remember seeing that.
Pashtus, that's it, because it's Eser and then there's the outside.
But it doesn't. I don't remember seeing that. But the very nice thing is how he ties it in at the end. How does it tie it in at the end? That Ketores is to get rid of the Yud Aleph, right? That's what we do with the Ketores. We move out it. Bir Ramakif. Now, once you did that, you're able to bring down the Shemen. Because Shemen is Chochmah. Once you got rid of the Ketores, because the whole question before was what's the difference between Shemen and Ketores, we can go on. He says, once you get rid of the Klippas, then you can bring down the Shemen. Shemen is Chochmah. And now it's a little bit an answer on the question, how is it possible from Chochmah Stimo to become Chochmah Gluya? Because you got rid of the Klippas. Once you get rid of the Klippas, you can bring down from Chochmah Stimo. Because that's what he says at the end. It's beautiful. At the end of Rish Tezvov. Because you got rid of the Klippas, that's why you can bring down the Shemen. And in Shemen Gufa, there's Shemen Mishchas Kedesh, Shemen, or there's two, Shemen Mishchas Kedesh, and Shemen another one, which is a higher one. Okay? And that basically explains how it's possible from Chochmah Stimah to come down to Chochmah Gluya. It's only possible when you get rid of the clippers in the middle. The whole question that we had before, how is it possible from Chochmah Stimah to Chochmah Gluya, is because there's clippers in the middle. But you get rid of the clippers, that is possible.
Okay.
That's the end of Rish as well.
Shem and Kedus is Samach Lev.
So let me just add one thing.
Go ahead. Oh, he says clearly, Shem Mishach Hu Shemeshach Sakeidish.
I don't know if
We're
I-
beginning Chochmah Stimah.
Yeah, I know, but he didn't
It's
really,
not a full answer, you
he
say.
didn't explain it yet.
Yeah, I
He did
agree. I
that.
agree. He's just hinting for an answer here.
Right.
He's hinting for an answer.
So remember, the whole flow of this is the last part before he started the difference between Shemen and Ketedus. The last real sugya inyan was let me just go there a second. Was the two types of sidus.
Right.
The Gimel Tikkun Dikna that takes the etzem
Right.
also through sidus, and there's how Chochmah Geluya comes from Chochmah Stimah through sidus, more like a tzimtzum and ha'ara.
Right.
And in order to understand that, he went into the holy of Shem and Ketedus. I just want to mention that for the record. Okay, so good. So now we're into not just into Shem and Ketedus. Now we're into Ketedus and Karbonis. Go back to Ketedus. Ketedus Karbonis. I'm just summing it up. Ketedus Karbonis is the birur of the Tev Shebeneged, the Pnimius, but it's only a birur, like he says, the spashtus of the Nefesh Habamis. It doesn't get to the etzem, the core root. And I think that's a critical point that was not mentioned. I just want to say that I just saw it. The Keyach HaMesaveh. Let's talk about it in simple aces, in Aveda. When you, the famous story, the Alter Rebbe, how do you stop a Gana from being a Gana? One way you put him in prison, you don't stop him, that just the Chatzeni is stopping him. You don't let him go. The other is rehabilitation. You push him, you shouldn't do it l'chatchila. So you can trust him. You don't have to. It's not a skafi. It's a sabche basically. So the birur of er primi of karbonis can only touch the chitzenis because it only touches primi. But to get to the core root of what makes a person, let's say, selfish or a taiva, like he says, atik the klipa is what he said two things.
Yeah, beautiful.
Kridus. Taiva bekridus, shegarua yesed.
He said two things.
Or the
He said-
truth tam being yoni hayadam.
The Geschmack.
Geschmack in Welt. So it's
Either
two
the
things. Yesh leim-
Kaltkeit.
You see, it's a
the
yesh leimer.
Kaltkeit,
A yesh leimer means is the Rebbe Rashab's chiddush. Shezeu ha-taiva she bekridus, shezeu kosher yesed, the kridus.
Right.
Masach erge v'chmimus. Because chmimus at least is a sign of life. Kridus is the chatchila, getting stung the ganze meise. Person's completely apathetic. And the second klippe.
Already in the new minor?
No, I'm looking at the Richter above. Second is the Tuf Tam, the Geschmack in Yonah Elam.
Which is the mocker to everything. Look, it says it's the
I'm
mocker to all
zufrieden
of
von
it.
sich, sagt er.
Huh?
I'm zufrieden von sich, das sagt er.
It's the mocker of everything.
And that is where you need Dafke Keteris. Zeach. Geht da rein in Etzem HaNefesh. You need a Chayes Chodesh. So Karbonis takes care of so-called the external beasts. But if you want to get somebody, change them internally, a real transformation, Keteris. Because Keteris gets to the Yud Aleph, you're saying the Kesed, the Ativ, the Klippa, and then in turn is Mamshech, the Chochm, the Shemen, which is Bekitza, the end of Reish Tezvav. Okay. That's good. The A's and the Simchelos.
He says it here. What do you mean?
Yeah.
What verse is
Shem in the head.
It's the gate of the whole picture of the Shemen. Right here,
Shem
it's
is
still...
Chochmah. Shem is Chochmah.
Shemen is also not Chochm, Shemen is also Atik.
Okay, but
So
it's not
Atik
deeper than
comes
Chochmah.
into Chochm.
But after
Put it-
Shem in, you don't get there. Just
as long as
Without,
the ball
if the
is firing
Ketedus is in there, the Shem can come down.
and he's resisting, you
Amen.
know that there's a chance.
Mela, you said? Once you get rid of the Ketedus, the Shem can come down.
Okay, so... Yeah, he has to say, because remember the Sugya, the whole thing is getting back to Keteris and Shemen, but we'll get back to it more.
That's a kid, so don't lose
The
Okay.
Mandragon and the ox and the tzink. Story with the bull and the goat.
Listen, before we go
see it
out,
right through.
the Moshel Bas Melech Shericha Tzike Gdeire. What is it? It's, you know what I'm talking about? No, so what is it? What is it? Oimar Yesh
It's a
Lagnai.
medrash.
Huh? No, Teimar Yesh Lagnai. In other words, the daughter of the king went and ate the bottom of... whatever, smell the bottom,
So it seems
the bottom of the pot.
You're looking at Reish Zayin now?
I'm looking at this design. Yeah.
Okay, so where we should begin from the beginning of Reish Zayin? You don't want to begin from the beginning. Can I just do it quickly for me?
Review quickly. We start the Hina Yesh Beis Mina because we did twice already.
how do you skip the bull and the goat?
We didn't. He mentioned it, no?
Won't
Everybody
you
remembers
go
the
out
bull and the goat?
So go say it. What do you mean? That Sig Bista Ben Ishmael?
Tiny.
There's that
The
one.
bull,
You know that one? The guy.
Gotzon versus tiny.
A guy's giving a drush in a shul. You know this one?
This is the tiny question. Or in the Gatsing in the Gamurka, that's in the new one or the old one?
He didn't say that.
The guy's giving
Now,
a drush in a
Yesh
shul.
Design.
A guy's giving a drush in a shul.
That's
The guy in the back is making like this and
Everyone
like
else is
this, like this, like this, right? And so at least he has one guy listening to him. He's excited. So afterwards he goes over like this and like that. He says, "You know, it looks like you were really into what I'm saying." And I said, "Looks like you didn't agree with me. Then you did agree with me. What was your?" So he said, "Well, the truth is, I lost my sig. I lost my goat. When I saw you, you reminded me that maybe this is my lost
the
goat."
board, Azoi, and everything. You
Right,
look-
exactly. You look exactly like my goat, but I wasn't sure. So as you were speaking, sometimes I thought, "Yeah, you are. What's not?" So he said, "So what was?"
Definitely my goat.
So what was the conclusion? He said, "The goat you are, but not mine."
I had a better one. It's
Sig Bista
Suman.
Ben Ishmael.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Our bigger Shiva comes into town. Are we online already?
Yeah.
A bigger Shiva comes into
Whatever
town.
you say goes for posterity now. Forget
He
it.
goes, a bigger Shiva comes into town and he says, Bilbo, like, you're Maldik, and everybody's listening and everybody's into it and Frechilus and into it. Unbelievable, gewaldig. This one guy, he doesn't know how to learn, he doesn't understand anything. So after the shir, he goes over to the shir and says, Rebbe, you know, everybody understand, I'm a Pashti, I don't understand anything. He doesn't give you a check for your yeshiva, at least, something. The Rebbe looks and goes, oh yeah, you're the only one that understood.
Okay.
By the way, the Krechem is Abel, the Spashtu Sarah, is Mamush Ezus and Tanya.
And also issues from this week's Lekutei Torah Pasha Chukas.
Yeah.
If you want to have, I once did a whole thing on it, Keichem Esav and Taiva. It's unbelievable psychological chidushim there. Please do it.
So what it's out of the Bainini gets you this.
And listen, it's going to be fast. Let me read it quickly.
Read it.
Say-
No problem.
say-
No problem.
Okay, bottom line is,
Yeah,
Reish
sorry.
Zayin,
Sorry.
he's starting a new question now.
Yeah.
You just said the whole difference between potatoes and korbanos is reich and lechem, lachmi, aber steht doch als keich, reich lecheich.
We had that.
Korbanos. Yeah. So the answer is lahagdim to understanding of reich. So it says reich u'mashabah de birur and tzutzes eteo. Reich comes from the birur and tzutzes of the sparks of teo. What's the pshat? It's yedua. It's known the reich shashim b'chins hagvura dafke darikol reich davar chazuk dafke. The shadish of reich now is from gvura, because reich comes from a davar chazuk. From a strong, has to be a strong, for it to be a scent.
Powerful.
Yeah. The dover had built the chazuk. Well, you mean reich came with dover chazuk v'chorif, strong and sharp. Kumei hatavlin shemitavlin behem ha'macholim. How would you translate tavlin? What's the English translation of tavlin?
Spices.
Spices that you spice up food. Seasonings.
Yeah.
Shekulim hem dvorim charifim mehem ba'areich. They're all sharp and they all give areich. Is anything that's sharp that doesn't give a smell? Is there sharp spices?
Cloud perfume comes from sharp stuff.
Yeah, but he's talking not just perfume, talking about food.
Spices also. Spices. are sharp.
Nimshal, that's the muscle. Nimshal, in reich meburid tzutzes zeteo. Shem b'chinas hagvur, b'chinas eres takifim b'chazakim. So the eres of teu are very powerful, very intense and strong. So from there comes reich, because reich is the bitter tzutzes. Basically, think of it like this. What's that a strong smell comes out of? It means that something, it's exuding, it's emanating something very powerful. So you need a powerful source to give out a reich. What is it in Ruchnius, in the Maila, in the Nimshal?
Gvura.
And the Gvura, but it's connected to Atik, the Eris of Atik.
It's going to connect now to Teo and Tikkun.
A person should always be flexible like a reed and not inflexible.
Tough and firm.
Kasha, but there's a word for it in English, whatever. unyielding,
Cedar.
like a kosher. Yeah, no, but there's a word for the unyielding. Okay.
On and in, you mean positive, not a negative, you mean?
It doesn't matter. The flexibility of a reed, because it's like flexible, is the midas of tikkun. It's not so intense, not like you're so locked into your own feeling. There's room for negotiation, so to speak. There's room for others. The kosher is he midas the tail. But hard as a cedar, the midas the Hashem begins take like Talmid Rabbi Akiva that died because of their Leinogan covered up because they were so everyone was a Z. So hey by Eres vehem ba Kalim.
I don't know if they would tell you.
It says in the test. Actually, it's so hey by Eres vehem ba Kalim. That's both in the Eres and the Kalim. She'eres they begins take of El Yeser. The Eres of Teyu are very intense. Shaloi hoyibem is chalkus be'etzem. What does that add?
You see, we had a problem a little with that, yes.
Which means that they're so there's such takeoff that they're just like there's no distinction between one and the next.
Even though lichere, there is a tremendous distinction. You know, I am chesed and that's it, and nothing else.
Yeah, but it's the kelim that make the distinction more. But okay, fine. The bottom line is it's so intense, like it doesn't. You don't see the difference.
Let me ask. Someone mentioned here that in Toihu there was only chesed and gvura, nothing else. Is that right?
There's not. I mean, there is teferes of Teyu. Teyu has 10 spheres.
Oh,
I once wrote a whole answer. Daniel Levy asked me a whole question about it, so I wrote him a whole answer. There's a Tiferes de Teyu, but it doesn't play the role that it does in Tikkun. In Tikkun, Tiferes serves as the mediator. In Teyu, every aid, even Tiferes, is its own takeoff. So Tiferes is not.
Obviously, there's all spheres.
Yeah, there's, of course, you
So
have
what was that the answer?
But the dominant.
That was the answer to.
The Kavem Soy, no. The word is like this. One second.
Yeah, I had a question.
What it says in Chassidus is.
No, you said because
it's
Tiferes
Shnei
is the mediator. So how's it possible?
Two machmas by Esav and Yaakov. The word is no one second. The word is that in Teyu there's only 2 kavim, and in Tikkun there's the third kavim soy that creates balance. So Tiferes in Teyu is more like the Svidus or Zelamatim is there. There's no kavim, there's no tziyur, there's no balance. You know, there's 2 ways the Svidus can be structured.
2 or 3.
The third is the spine that creates a balance. Imagine a human being only had 2 things, we wouldn't have balance. So Tikkun adds the kavim soy element, where in Teyu there's no kavim soy.
So Tiferes would be in one of the 2.
Tiferes is like in the row of things. Chochma, Bina, Das, Chesed.
How's it possible? Tiferes? Okay.
It has Tiferes features, but it doesn't have the because the Eidos are too strong. Think of it like.
Tiferes features, not Tiferes benefits.
Okay, there you go.
Features and benefits.
Let's go. Okay. Fine. The Gamma Kalim of Teyu, also the Kalim of B'chinas Tekev Mitzad Hamiyut Shalehem.
So less mute and Kalim causes Tekev.
Right. The Mishum Zehu Yibet da no Emlech Dafka. Dafka, me. Ir bin the candidate. I will rule. V'agam disrachvus HaKalim hu gam ken B'chinas Tekev. And even though Yisrachvus HaKalim that he's talking about in Tikkun.
Right.
Also as Tekev, it's expansive Kalim.
That's different.
Shezein Siashvus. She Dafka Beif Gezev Le Beif Nach.
And Luki explains.
Oh, that's not the answer. One second. What that means? What does that mean in Sachvus? That it's Yisashvus, that the Dafke Chesed and Agvura. So Cheda that is also a takeof.
Right.
Chuzel takeof shemitzad atam legubchinas takeof be'etzem. B'meila efshel l'ishtan.
It's called stability.
Yeah, it's a takeof mitzad a reason. It's a structure. It's a plan takeof. It's not just a person who says avilded neshama or wild energy that doesn't have any. It's not untamed. In Teyu, it's untamed. It's as a Eidus Vilda Eidus, basically.
In Tikkun, I have a good
and also
reason
the
why to be
Kalim.
that way.
And also the Kalim. Mashenkin in Tikkun is Take Sachus HaKalim is his Yashvus.
Almost impossible to change the Rebbe's mind. Right?
It's the time.
It wasn't, it's had stubbornness, Chas v'Shalom.
It says Am Kshei Erev is the Mayusa L'Griyusa.
But it's had the Rebbe, when the Rebbe was...
But that's because of it.
Well, it says, there was a stability there.
And also, that's
nature.
normality. That's also a take of.
He was always right.
It wasn't Matzad nature, Matzad Teva Teikif. It was
always right. How could you say anything but he was always right? I don't understand. Change his mind, he was always right.
But I don't see. I think because the Rebbe already went through all the changes possible on his own. By the time he came to Amaskona, he thought it through.
It's
not like
that's Yashvus.
Yeah.
That's right.
Like there were people who had problems. They said, Alle Rabbein fragen sich, wegsetzen mit einem Glos Tee mit Chassidim und sich Miyashuv sein mit dem. Der Rebbe sagt, mit keinem ist Miyashuv.
You know what? Mit wem wollte Sache gesagt, mit meiner Asche sein? Exactly who.
אף זהו, התקף שמצד התם, לבחינוס תקף בעצם מלף של השתנס. השם, התקף שמצד מיעוט הכלים, עם תהו, הוא התקף בעצם. וזהו, מצד תהילה, אני going back, זהו, מבחינוס גבורה. That's why it's גבורה, very strong, intense. ובפרט, על ידי השבירה, this is even before the shvira.
This is very interesting. That it gets more takeif after Shir Sakelim.
Let's see what it said. בפרט, that's why הנפילה שנעשו, מבחינס קליפס נגע, עליהם כמי דובר, הקיוע, בחורב שנעשה מזרע חזק. So once it falls, in other words, let's put it this way. The shvira came because of the intensity, right? It shattered everything. So even what's left over still remained quite...
Not only even. Now that you have left over, it comes in Metzias of Klippas Nega. Now that Klippas Nega is like the Kiyua, that from Klippas Nega...
How would you translate Kiyua and Chorif? How is it different? Kiyua is what?
Kiyua is supposed to be a double Kiyua you're supposed to put in.
But the Kiyua, there's also another mind. Kiyua is like... Okay, I'll go
Acidic,
pungent.
But look how visual it becomes.
B'chorif and sharp.
When he's trying to explain odor, it becomes so visual. You know, you have the mocker, what's it called? Like, let's say a little piece of I don't know whatever.
No, but this is so.
And that's one second. The shvira is like grinding it.
Yeah.
And then the odor that comes on later isn't
the result of it.
It's still visual.
But it's also
now you're able to be milik. You're able to. The point is that in this world, with all the things that are neutral, that have to be in them, through using them for kedusha, you are elevating them to a great level. That's what I think he's saying here. That from Torah Vertikun, that now it can have even a greater power.
Okay. וזהו שאמר הזל בגמרא דפסוחים בעניין ברוך שם כהן מחוץ ללמוד משה לבס מלך שהריחו ציקי קדירה תמר יש לו גנאי. Does anyone know the whole Gemara? Yeah, the ganze Gemara, there's a whole Gemara. Do you know?
The whole Gemara, they're explaining, but I don't have this, no? So,
Aber da hast doch
Nee, it's a very dicke Gemara.
Yeah, it's a beautiful piece explaining the Baruch Shem from Kusal and Void.
Say it, you know?
But the Malachim, I remember the whole thing, but the Malachim, because I remember. Because the Malachim are the ones that said Baruch Shem from Kusal and Void. The Gemara asked, how's it possible that he heard it? I don't remember the whole thing.
No.
I don't remember, just remember that he brings a morsel. Yeah, we want to check it.
What daf?
See what's that? Oh.
No, one second. Yeah. Hey, minute. No, it's a whole thing. That's how she got back to the Melech.
If I remember correctly, I think
mentioned this
that's how she got back to the Melech, because she had to fall very far.
Oh, it's
And you mentioned that in Italy they love...
Okay, you know what? I'll look it up, we'll say it later, it's alright.
Yeah, okay.
Aber ich sag, Amli dvei Rabbi Ami, Moshe lebas melech sheiricha tzike gdeira. Im tema yesh lo gnai, loi tema yesh lo tzar, sagt Rashi. Tzar gufa machmas ha-taiva. Das kommt davor, wir wollen empty. Mitten the Klippe, we're learning about there.
Okay, so listen, let's not waste too much time.
Oh, you wanted English, right?
Okay.
Yeah, the shots in English too.
The Bas Melech was not that solution. You could have bought the Malka.
He has enough patience. Rabbi Isaac said, the school of Rabbi Ami said, this
1 second, that's important. Because she started smelling the bottom of the pot. Okay. 1 second. So on one hand, it's a problem because it's not nice for her that she.
Right. Exactly.
On the other hand, she likes it. She wants it. So what's the Gemara say? That's why her servants started bringing to her in a hidden way that nobody should. That's the Moshel of Baruch Shem Avoid. That the Malachim, that Moshe Rabbeinu heard it. That's why we say it quietly.
So how does it fit in the Nimshah? How does it go?
Right.
Why do we say Baruch Shem quietly?
Because he stole it from the Malach.
Oh, so it's like. Okay,
Because it's not Shema.
Yeah, because he stole it from the Malachim.
Right. So
that's
and stole it quietly.
Just like her avodim, her servants bring it to her in a quiet way because she wants it.
Such a marshal as elaborate.
No, it doesn't mean that.
He could have said anything. Any secret thing she wants, any type.
No, why does it have to be quietly? because it's not nice for her to eat the bottom of the.
But she can have the top. Shema Yisrael.
What's that? Baruch Shem Kri Malchusei is so Baruch Shem Kri Malchusei is like inferior.
It's a secret that Moshe Rabbeinu overheard by the Malachim.
No, but why is it a gnai?
No, because it is inferior.
Because
That's
it's
Shema.
or what?
It's not Yehudiya law. It's Tator. So if she can get Yehudiya law, why does she want Yehudiya Tator?
Stay Dugan is
That's
Malachim.
like what it is.
Before is the Malachim, no, come on.
Okay, got it. So
Don't
it's a
say anything
smell. The
about
bottom line is a sereach that comes from a davar chazak.
Don't say anything about Malachim. You made it up.
Why
It's talking about that
Yankee
Yaakov
Avinu
Avinu said Baruch Shem when he said to the Yidden, Shema Yisrael Hashem, when he said to the Yidden, is anyone is that to the 12 Shvat before he passed away?
Right.
Yeah.
Kashem
So is there anybody who's having it in their heart different than? So they said they all answered Shema Yisrael. Listen, Tate Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. When he heard that all his children have the same Hashem Echad, he said Baruch Shem K'vei Malchusei V'Elohim V'Loed. Should we say it because Yaakov Avinu said it? Should we not say it because it's not mentioned in Torah? So therefore they decided they'll say it quietly. So they said this is Tzika Gedolah is compared to a king's daughter who smelled a spicy pudding. If she reveals her desire, she suffers disgrace. If she does not reveal it, she suffers pain. So her servants began bringing it to her in secret. Al derech zeh, the Chachamim enacted that this should be Baruch Shem should be recited aloud on account of the resentment of heretics. What's shot on the count of the look at that you took it away already.
Allowed?
But Nardo, there are no heretics. So far, they recited it quietly. What does Rashi say? Spicy pudding.
spicy pudding.
She conceived a strong desire for it. Disgraces her lack of self-control and pain through her restraint.
What do we say aloud in
Get back into the Hebrew so I can know what's going on here. Marshal Basmala Shiri Chatziki Im Toimar, not in Toimar if you'll say. In Toimar, if she will say, if she will reveal her desire for the spicy pudding, Yesh Lo Gnai. Loitam, if she won't say it, Yesh Lo Tzar, that she's not getting it. So it's Hischilu Avadeh Lahavi Bechashoi. Amar Rabbi Avod, same thing with Baruch Shem. Hischilu Shiyu Eim L'Meisa B'Ker Ra'am Mipnei Tar'um Meisa Minim. That for some reason the minim shouldn't have tinus. Like a minim, not hashta, amrina b'chashoy.
Okay, we got the picture.
I don't.
Why are you worried about
What's
that?
the sikh data? So what's going on?
Spicy pudding.
How's in the nimshul the sikh data?
He didn't even start. He just started now.
Not here in the Maimer. How's in the nimshul Gemara? What's the what's the gnai of saying Baruch Shem? What's wrong with it? So he says Yichud Tartar. I understand. It's not the gnai because you said, what's the gnai? What? You know, there you say because it's the bottom of the pot. It's
something so beautiful and desirable, but it's not becoming for me to use it.
So why is Baruch Shem that way?
Because it's not written in Torah.
That's the Pshat in Gemara.
That's what the Gemara is talking about.
Not written in Torah. It looks like
I think it's because the
Ruchnis. I understand it.
Because you're lowering yourself down to eat a steak and to love a steak. You're loving lower things.
Baruch Shem?
Yes.
I got your message. I was going to call you.
Oh, you're lowering something lower than
I'm going out
Shema.
of the country. Can we do it next week? Okay. I'm sorry about that.
Talumas Armenian is that we're moisid to the Shema. We're moisid in the middle of a Teresh B'Tzav Parsha, a passage that doesn't say over there.
Great, thank
So
you.
the meaning will say not only the moisid of it,
Okay,
they do it
thank you,
quietly.
Baba.
You're putting in something that is not part of Shema.
That's a gnai. I mean, it's like, what's a gnai? It's a Baruch Shem. It's not bad.
In the middle of Pasha.
Okay.
Tzika Gedei,
Fine, it's a Pshat Gemara. We have to figure it out.
Tzika
Fine.
Gedei is really like Yishmak Kazan.
What's a gnai? If I stay.
It's not befitting to go. You know,
No, but what does Baruch Shem have to do?
taking something, you're saying a parsha from Torah, Shema Yisrael ve'ahavta. You're sticking in
Baruch Shem
something
Kvei
that
Malchusei.
doesn't belong in the middle.
Pasha.
In the middle of parsha.
No, if you're stuck in something like you're
and that's what you say quietly.
Yes, sir.
And that's what you
Okay,
say
fine.
quietly.
Okay, I got here. I had that Pshat Gemara.
How can you know parsha Pshat? We didn't learn the Gemara.
Okay, fine.
There's no
I
problem
just
anymore.
that's the only thing was wrong. So the Chassidus will work it out. It's okay. So what is in the Chassidus in Primus Anyan? Bas Melech B'chinas Malchus Dat Silas. Remember, the Gedeita here is the smell. Hiricha Tzika Gedeita. That she smelled it.
Don't even seem to be
Yeah. So look at it. So Bas Melech B'chinas Malchus Dat Silas. This is where you started.
A little bit further. Go ahead, start from
Shanika
the
Barta de Malka.
Brat.
Barata de Malka, which is
daughter.
the daughter of the Melech. Bechinas Melech Ilo da Abba, that Silas, the Abba Yisod
Yosad Brat.
Barata.
In other words, Malchus Atzilus. In other words,
Malchus comes from Abba.
Melech is
Melech is Chochmeh, and the Barata, that's it.
Brat is daughter.
Daughter, but you say Abba Yisod Barata, you say? Or Yisod
Abi
Barta?
Yosad Brat.
So yeah.
I understand, but the Barata is the expression. Abba Yosed Barata means the father founded the daughter.
The daughter.
Okay.
You say that Malchus is Chacham.
Fine. So Malchus is that's Bas Melech. So that proves that Mas Melech is Malchus Dal Silas, right? You got that. The Bechinas Malchus Mokar Hashefa V'Achai is the Biyah. Oh, so Biyah is seeking it. Okay. And Malchus is the Mokar. So from the Chassidus verstehen die Gemara, verstehst? Is the Shefa, is the Mokar of the Shpor, the transmission, and the life, and the energy into the Biyah. And on this he says, Sheirichot Sikik Deir Hanareach Ma Birurim de Biyah. The Bas Malach smelled the Birur. She smelled the Reach elevating from the Birurim of Biyah.
The Geschmack of the Nidrik
No,
parts.
that's not it's Geschmack, but it's also remember the smell of carbonis, as you're going to see, is not the smell of potatoes. It's a smell of
But she smells
Yeah.
it very.
By the way, the Rambam in the Mein Nevuchim says potatoes came to eliminate the Reach Ra from the carbonis that was going on in the Beis Hamikdash. It wasn't, it's smelling blood and the mice. It must have been.
Whoa.
There was
The potatoes was a pleasant scent. It was like a perfume, like
Right.
it was to counteract, neutralize the smell coming from the mizbeach hachitzin.
It's funny because we were talking about, we didn't know.
No, and Aved is beautiful.
Like
Like they used to say, these these guys that never took showers, they would just put on French perfume.
in the olden days, yeah, what I mean?
Yeah.
In the olden days, they didn't know that after wash themselves, they only put on
Didn't
perfume.
know. How can they wash themselves every day?
I think they
What's
do.
the-
I think they do.
Maybe they didn't have
Those who
capability.
thought the world was square didn't know.
Whatever, but
Yeah, but
that's
these
what
guys do, they
that's
stank.
the French do today. They don't take showers; they only put on perfume.
And Italians?
Sounds different. The perfume.
Okay.
They don't take showers. Oh.
You see here, it's a Geschmackesach.
Okay, what's that? Let's go. And look, the rest of it,
Geschmackesach, it's a passage.
it's worse than more pasnish. It's coming from klipa. It's coming from negative.
Birurin de Naigan, Birurin de Biyah.
Yeah, but a berurim de nega is not kedusha. It's still.
It's Desser.
Look, you know what it says in Chassidus when you start burning a log that's like full of worms. That's why the whole thing with Tubov was with the yem tabamag. Why? Because then when the sun would so the wood would burn very well because it didn't have any moisture, didn't have any worms. When the sun started becoming weaker, the wood became full of this, and that's why it would crackle and all that. So yes, it releases something, but it's very noisy and that's. So berurim have two sides. It's taka birur, aber es geht areis nicht as afke all the kareach. It's strong. Yeah. Anyway, that's what he so let's
He's going to say that. He's going to say that.
The brewing has to do with the Torah, the brewing.
Berurim, Keteris, and Karbonis are berurim.
They're both berurim.
Both berurim. Question is why?
Both
He's coming to explain now the difference between two types of reach. Remember, till now we're speaking that Keteris was reach that reaches etzem nefesh, and Karbonis is lechem that reaches the primius, keches premium. Here he's coming and adding that the Keteris also has, Karbonis also has reach, but it's a different reach. Forget it's made it because he's going to explain the two types of reach. So what does he say? In the Yesh Beis B'chinas Einik. The two types of pleasure. One is the essential, the fundamental, an einig atzmi, an essential kind of pleasure. Sheyesh b'teva be'etzem hadover shutev v'orev l'nefesh. That naturally a certain thing has a certain goodness and sweetness that the nefesh, orev l'nefesh, the nefesh has pleasure from it. V'nikra einig atzmi. This is called einig atzmi. In other words, the pleasure is and the essential thing. Hainu shaba b'seder v'adroga ma'einig shaba nefesh. It comes seder v'adroga like without
my
any
pleasure into something.
right, in a very structured way. U'k'moi, he gives an example. Hachai shebei vorim, like the life within the organs of the body. שזהו שנמשך מהוס החייס.
Yeah.
This is נמשך the מהוס החייס.
גם שזהו רק
הגם שזה רק האורל, והמקום הוא מהוס האורס החייס הנפש שבו בסדר והדרוגה, השנקים בסיירס.
That's like curveball.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
Huh?
No, fine, that's good. No, in other words, this parenthesis is not coming to explain Einig Atzmi, he's coming to explain Seder V'Adroga. In other words, like for example, Sidus is a dilug. The Sidus is not, when Chais in an Aver, let's say in an arm, or in your body, or in any organ, it's a Chais Pnimi. It comes in a normal structure. In Sidus, when you look at a Sida, only when you pull it do you feel lepus. So clearly the Chais is not coming in a normal flow. It's coming through a dilug or through some form of tzimtzum. So bottom line, what he's saying here is that there's an einik that comes to the nefesh in a seder v'adroga in a normal way without any particular, let's call it radical jolt. Okay? There's no radical jump or jolt. Einik b'tam orev, like the einik from a very sweet taste. The tev l'nefesh, b'chayich, hatayim, chayich. It's good for the
cheek. The cheek. The inside of the cheek.
Yeah. Hatayim b'mesikus v'arevus. So you take a very sweet or pleasant food into your mouth. It has as mesikus, it's sweet and arevus and pleasant. B'tam hamaychel. And the taste of the food. Shemavashlim b'gdeira, that you cook in the pot. B'toimim b'zeh, kol mini tam v'chayis l'nefesh. So a good cook, a good chef prepares a good meal.
It's connected to the moshel, data.
Yeah. With the data. So this type of tainug is a good food. It's full of, let's say, spices or whatever it is. And when you put it in your mouth, it has a pleasant and a sweet and a very pleasant to the mouth, to the taste. U'b'keiches nafshi, u'kamoi ha'enig b'muskolis hamukis. That's a physical tainug. Now he's giving in keiches ha'nefesh, the faculties. What is it? It's the pleasure you have from muskolis hamukis, from deep ideas. The nihilus, deep and elevated and high level ideas. The mishu chacham gadol had a mesanik me'ed muskolis. Someone who's a chacham gadol, a very wise person, has pleasure, great pleasure from seichel. So just like the food, some people that we all have pleasure from a food you put in your mouth, on a more edler level, on a more refined level, is the pleasure that a person has from a deep seichel. The chena isha teva chesed. He's giving our third example. Also, a person who's a teva chesed, a good person, a generous person. Shemisanik bepulas teva chesed shalei. He has pleasure when he does a favor for somebody. When he does good, chesed to somebody, there's pleasure. So let's compare here. So 3 types of pleasure so far. He's given an example. One is the pleasure pasha, the good food, and all that it does after you cook it and so on. It releases a taste when you put it in your mouth. Second, pleasure from muskolis, mukis, deep anyonim, and the third is a ish chesed, has pleasure helping someone. So you're not talking about the helping, you're talking about the pleasure you have from it. It's gishmak, the feeling of good, you feel good about it. Shezeu einig atzmi. All this is together of einig atzmi. V'hainu shadover be'etzum u'dover teiv. The thing you're doing, the food, the seichel or the chesed, is be'etzem adover teiv, v'dover einig be'etzem, v'alkei mesanik be. In other words, there's nothing here that's like a chiddush. The thing by nature is a good tasting food, or it's a deep seichel, or it's a chesed. So it's a natural thing. You're going to have pleasure from it. That obviously is one type of tainug.
Is he making an order of that, or is he lumping them together?
He just gave 3 examples. I see 3 examples. 3 examples.
I think what he's trying to bring out is the difference between Aleph and Beis. Beis is going to
Teres and Karbonos.
No, Beis is going to be a davar murka. It has to do with the other.
And no, it's also going to be from the mahapach, a thing that's not sweet to something that is. Like the matamim in Tanya, the matamim. The point is, this is a tainug that's a natural, direct tainug. You don't need
irrelevant of the others.
Yeah, there's no birur in nega. That's what he's really going to say. Very good. Okay, beautiful. It's mamish from Tanya, the matamim. The 2 types of matamim, you know. It's mahapach zaina, mosik lemar, mar lemosik, and so on. Okay, v'chene.
Begashmius.
Zel k'may tainug b'maychel orev, v'teiv be'etzem kanam.
Why is he repeating this?
I guess.
Okay. Just wrapping it up.
He's saying if they take the einig be'etzem, it's more of a. Remember, because So good. So wrapping it up right. Now, Rabbi is the second type of pleasure. Who are einig shemurkev beifuche dafke. Murkev beifuche. It's murkev. It's a composite from something that's an opposite dafke. This was no opposites. The thing is sweet. Seichel amuk. There's no like fighting an enemy or something.
The other is irrelevant.
Ukamoi, here goes. Here goes.
But the other is irrelevant.
One second.
I want to do good.
Ukamoi hatayne benitzuach al managid. This is a different type of pleasure. But the pleasure you have from winning over, vanquishing, conquering an enemy.
Overcoming a challenge.
Shemanagid they love b'peil. Shemanagid they love b'peil. That opposes him. B'peil mamish, practically. The kasher miskaber olav. When he
Overcomes.
He dominates over him, and conquers and vanquishes him. There's a deep enig, but this enig is from the opposite. It's not the enig atzmi we talked about before. Most who would want to have an opposition, a confrontation in the first place? If it was up to a person, he'd say, I don't want to have an enemy. What do I have to have a fight, a war, and vanquish him? So it's not etzem teiv. So yes, the shloy hayem menagid. Very good. I think that's a very good line we should post. Yes, the shloy hayem menagid. That there was no opposition. That kashiyesh menagid. Only thing is, once there is a menagid, which is unwelcome, when he conquers him. When he victorious over him, yesh b'zein gadol. It's a great pleasure from it.
Greater than the other one.
He doesn't say that.
Yeah,
He doesn't say.
Okay.
He doesn't say
It's a
that.
different type.
Yeah.
That's one example. Or that's a the same thing as the enig bas sodas halamas b'stiras akushis be'ezah muskel. So he's giving now seichel, another muscle seichel, but not like that.
Other way.
Not a seichel amuk. But there's an enig that comes when you get rid of the halamas, the concealments, the confusion, or the things that, the lack of clarity that come from stiras, the contradictions and kashas, be'ezah muskel. In any idea.
Incantatis vegas.
Sheyes b'zein gadol ve'ein ze enig atzmi.
Two different
Because
No, because it leads.
Because here the helamas is like the menagid.
Oh, but I don't understand. So all that does is lead to the number two of the last three.
No, number two is a person has gishmak. You hear a deep seichel, no kashas, it's clear. You have pleasure from
this
it.
This you were just giving
Now
allows that to happen.
What? No, 1 second. In the first level, the first enig, it's a seichel. You hear a beautiful seichel,
Right.
and it's right away clear, no questions.
Right.
You right away hear it. It's beautiful thought. And then there's another one that you start looking, you don't understand anything. And then someone clarifies it for you, answers the question.
Clarify yourself.
Or you clarify yourself, right, etc. There's a pleasure from it. But it's like a war.
Seems like the second one.
It's
though.
different.
No.
That's
It's very
the beauty of
different.
it.
That's, we learned that
You have to
even
do more.
the difference. Remember, we learned the difference between Talmud Yerushalmi,
You get
Talmud
into the
Bab.
second one though.
No,
The only difference,
No.
though, the only comes from the object in the first case, and they only comes from the goal in the second case.
right, exactly
I didn't
right.
hear you. What did you say?
Only comes from the
That comes
chofetz
to
in the
you.
first case.
From the what?
You can see right away what the problem is.
The chofetz.
Yeah, here the only comes
Then-
from the goal.
Second level,
Is
you
it?
see the problem.
Very good
Find
point.
something
He said it like
else.
this. And the first one, the eina comes from the object, the idea, and the second one comes from the person who overcame the
Okay.
challenge.
More internal.
Okay.
Yeah, it's seichel. They're both. Remember, we learned the difference between Talmud Bavli, Talmud Yerushalmi. Remember, they both have one common denominator. It gives pleasure to the person. But the first three examples were all pleasure from a good sweet food. I don't know if he's going to say this example. I'm sure he will. But imagine a pleasure that comes from not a sweet food. You took a food that is skunk and you turned it into perfume. It's a very unpleasant odor that you turned it to do.
Okay.
The end result is pleasure. That's the comment. But we're talking about what type of pleasure, where it comes from, and what. But that's a good way to put it. Gavin and Chefza. That's one way to say it. Yeah, it's true. The pleasure, the main pleasure in the second type of what he's saying now, is from you overcoming the difficulty, not the understanding of the Indian. In understanding, you're right. They both end up understanding, but the pleasure is a special pleasure that comes from overcoming a challenge that actually the first one doesn't have. The person who just gets it doesn't have that pleasure. Yeah. Ein ze geine gatsmi. Hagam sha'enig b'zeh pnimi v'atzmi yesa b'nefesh.
Oh, let's take all that.
Okay. Great minds think alike. Even though the enig in this enig in the through the menag through
Here comes the gav and the chefta, you see?
pnimi v'atzmi yesa
We use the
b'nefesh.
term atzmi for the oinig. We just said that we have oinig atzmi and oinig amurka. Here he's talking about oinig amurka. When he uses the term oinig was pnimi v'atzmi yesa, we call him oinig atzmi. What's that?
She'ein zeh ma'hadover hateiv
He
be'etzem
used the term
pnimi
atzmi.
hifuche.
Mitzad the oinig itself is not oinig atzmi. Mitzad the gavra it becomes a pnimi and atzmi yesa. Mitzad the gavra it becomes a pnimi and atzmi. But the oinig is oinig atzmi.
If she'ein zeh ma'hadover hateiv be'etzem, because it's not coming from a thing that is the helam is not teiv. Let's put it this way: the menagid, the enemy you have, even if you win them, is not a good thing. The enemy is not a good thing.
Right.
In the first one, you don't have that's murkav. In the first one, you don't have anything that's opposite. You only have pleasure. You go into a place, there's pleasure. There's nothing else.
It's like comparing earning a living and getting it from a Yerusha.
Okay, which is the better one?
According to this, this is earning it. According to this, earning it.
Depends how much you get.
Vice Toyson never got a big Yerusha because if he had a big
Rolled
Yerusha,
away.
he would know where he would answer the question.
There's a family that told me after they stood up for Shiva, they were all like outside of 770. My father came over to them. And he says, the good news is, because it was just after Shiva, that your father probably didn't leave any money. So he said, how do you know? Because you're all standing here and talking to each other. And they found out that the father did leave them money, and they don't talk to each other. At that time, they didn't know yet. Okay, which would you rather have? As he said, depends how much money it is. Okay. But I didn't see a mushel of money here altogether. You know, they haven't had money come into this picture yet. I just saw a settle from the Rebbe. If someone has the Rebbe, what's more important, benashidach, midas tevis or seichel? The Rebbe said midas tevis, and then the Rebbe added, "Val akesef chazal b'chal lo medabrim." He added on his own. Just in case you wonder. Right.
But that was the most important part.
Akesef chazal b'chal lo medabrim.
Chazal no, because the Taisus does talk about it.
Oh, yeah.
Taisus says the reason why we nowadays.
As you said, the Rebbe is not going to change his opinion because it's gefunden not tasteless.
Tastes nicht Chazal.
Kaddish is biti ktana is a chassid, right? So it says, I nowadays in times of Taisus, we are in Kaddish, we engage into the children when they're young. It's because we're living in Golis and we don't know what's going to be tomorrow. Now, hat Rabbi Geld, hat Anabi.
Lucky.
Make the shit.
I don't know if it's a still that the Rebbe said. The Mekleib dimension.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I understand. Like what's his name? Tevye says in the Fiddler on the Roof that it's that money is what does he say? That line.
Money is the disease of the world.
No, he says.
May you strike me with it, and may I never recover.
No, that one. No, he has the one.
If I were a rich man.
Right. It says that money.
Wouldn't it be a little if you gave me a little?
Yeah, give me a little. So what? It's not. It's a good line there. I'm saying.
Ubegashmius.
Ubegashmi is okay. So the is see to be medayik in the Aces is critical. The tainug is from the opposite.
From transforming it. Could be mehipuche from being mahapichet.
This year, Simon.
Mipucha is a verb or noun?
It looks like a
That's
noun.
what I'm saying. It's mehipuche from turning it over.
No, I don't think so.
Tiny is from mehipuche from being mahapichet.
This year is Ilu Nishmas Meir Barach Ben Leib. Beirach Ben Leib, it's Kalman's brother. He's not here, but he left all the stuff. So please.
Look, in the beginning we said that's also a verb.
I didn't think so there.
No.
Behipuche. Yeah.
The first time.
Shemurka behipuche by transforming it. The Kenzai is always not.
How would you say if it was? Wouldn't it say by mahabche? Aydehi hap.
That's behipuche.
Okay, fine.
Ayidei.
Good. Good.
Not
So Begashmi is
behipuche. Doesn't say mehafachi on the yud and on the vav.
Zalman, right? Zalman.
Have a look at this.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, all the professors of Ayin Beis after 3 months finally found the wire in New York City.
$8. What is it? $8. $8.32. No. How many ACS?
Yeah.
We're gonna leave now. I'm making him with him. My mother told Chaim Wednesday 8 o'clock in my house. My son Shmuley is engaged.
It's gewartet bis in Sofs, is it?
No, really not. So just
Wednesday
in my house.
I'll be there, but not because I'm being South
8
Africa.
o'clock?
Wednesday.
Wednesday, South Africa?
My nephew's wedding.
Okay.
What?
You're not going to be back Sunday.
I will be back Sunday.
Oh, okay. So
I'll be back
you're
Friday.
probably gonna get
I don't know if I'm here Sunday, by
Back
the way.
Friday.
I don't know if I'm here Sunday.
Who's the Mechutin?
Chutun is, I don't know.
We'll find out.
It's
together.
What's that?
We'll
Is
find
this
out
something that
together.
was legalized today in America, in New York, or what? What are you talking about? Huh? That's what I was
I'll see you guys Wednesday.
We'll find out together, you say?
Okay.
So let's tell you
But,
today.
What?
Aber es geht da gang.
But it's a girl,
I'll
right?
just tell you one story. Can I tell you I made a dick story?
Save the law, you know.
Can I tell you I made a dick story? You gotta hear the story. Just give me 2 minutes. It's an unbelievable story. I heard it from Hirschel Chitzik. He
Which
was
one?
Hirschel. How many Hirschel Chitziks?
Oh, okay, fine.
This guy's got a filing cabinet that's like this cover.
He means Hershey the Fat.
You mean from the 300 yards today? So, Tavshin Tess, he was a Bach in 770, and there was a guy called, come to me in a moment, another Bacher. Anyway, he was a Weltische Bacher, wasn't he? Some said there were guys from Natalbab, and Kaplowitz.
Katlowitz from Borough Park?
Yeah.
Sure I know his father.
Guy who got killed.
Yeah, taxi
Yeah.
driver.
But this was a...
He sat on me.
But-
Go ahead, no, next we'll talk about it later.
No, but anyway, let me tell you the story.
Yeah, I mean,
No.
That was in Borough Park, it's true.
But he's a grandson already. He's already a grandson.
Talk to the father. The
You've
father
already
is right.
brought
The father learned in Tavshin Tess in 770?
He got
Yes,
killed.
yes.
You can sit on
You want to hear the story?
No.
Okay, go ahead.
Very nice guy.
Anyway,
Lochi, Shavy, Levi.
listen. So this Katlowitz,
Grew up with him.
one of them went to yeshiva with me in Ocean Park.
Yes, that's the three brothers.
Yeah.
No.
So anyway, so this guy got engaged to a girl in Borough Park. He was in yeshiva with Chitrik. Chitrik knows this, but you hear the story. This guy got engaged to a girl, a granddaughter of a family called Paradis, in also Borough Park, Paradis, a Chosrow family. And it was a big chiddik. They came to the Vort, or the Chaim, whatever they called it then, a Vort. And the grandfather, it was the first time he met the Chos. The Chos's family came from the Midwest. They were like, more like farmers. I think the father even came in as a young guitar with dirt on his finger.
Overall.
And the Paradis saw him, called in the family, this shidduch is not for us, it's over.
You came in with
The apostle, it's over with.
Wow.
And the Catholics came back to 770, that's where he met Chitrik. That's one half of the story. Chitrik, years later, Rabbi Mentlik used to give a shir in Gemara by Chitrik's house. At the end of the shir, he used to tell stories. Yeah. The Chofs. At the end of one, he tells a story. He says that the last Yom Kippur, the last Yom Kippur from the Friedrich Rebbe, Baal Medain, Tavshin Yud, right before Kol Nidrei. The Rebbe, the Friedrich Rebbe, called him upstairs. Yeah, he was downstairs. He says the Rebbe gesetzen in a kittel, sitting in a kittel in a talis, and he's gesehen wie a Malach Hashem. He said geleuchten azay von him. He was like shining right before Kol Nidrei. And the Rebbe, the Rebbe told Mentlik, the Friedrich Rebbe told Mentlik, that right after Yom Kippur, you should go to Borough Park to have Paradis and sagen, at the Boche Katlowitz is meine Kind. Because he learns in yeshiva. Tell him that Katlowitz is my child. Because he learns in the yeshiva. Mentlik knew nothing. He never said that. I heard this from that part. No, you'll hear the end. I did not hear that part. You heard it from whom?
Probably from Jacobson.
Who heard it from me, by the way?
Okay, so he has to add something.
No, continue.
So right after Yom Kippur, he goes to Borough Park. He meets Paradis. Had a message from the Rebbe. The Paradis was not a Chabad chassid, but he was respected the Friedrich Rebbe. He comes in and he tells the partners that the Rebbe gesagt that the Bach Katlu's Zainer a Kind. So the partner said, sagt dem Rebbe, man mit Hazam Mechutten will sich nicht dingen.
What?
With such a Mechutten, he doesn't want to argue. And the Shidduch worked. That's how I heard it from Chitzik. The truth is, me and my brother both heard it from Chitzik because we were together with him when he told us. So I don't recall that, but either way.
Could be I was the one who grew the hands.
No, but this
you
is
said you burned them and put them afterwards.
Zainer a Kind. Hest?
This guy,
That's
the doctor, vascular surgeon. I never met them. I don't know.
So I'm just saying, in case they come with dirt under their things.
With overalls.
Here comes the blood on his finger.
Okay, this is what it is.
Mazel.
Mazel.
Da redt man doch, so dat zwei soort Kinder. Dat enig beheersen, maar dat komt van struggling. Okay, me fuche. Bagash me shuk me enig bebash nisref be'esh. Oh, this is good. And bagash is physically, this is the pleasure that comes from something that gets burned in a fire, in other words, cooked. Benisha begedera, and remains in the pot. Mepselas hamaychel, from the residue. What do they say? Pselas, from the leftover, whatever, of the food. In other words, it's not hamavushel, from the cooked food. After all the good stuff, in other words, when you take out everything from the pot, something remains, the stuff, the bottom of the pot. And it became stuck to the walls of the pot. This is pretty graphic.
Could it be that it means,
like a cholm pot? You ever see a cholm pot?
Could it be that it means Shiyat Mimena from the Tafshil came out the Tam Tov and remained in Bakbekes like the Tam Tov? The Tam Tov comes out of the Tafshil and remains in
Bakbekes, meaning after, out of the pot, came all the Tuf Tam Tev.
Maybe he's explaining what's so geschmack about the Tzikik Dele, maybe. It's psoiles, but there's a geschmackite to it.
Let's just finish. Ubishuleho.
Shezeh hanikra tzikik
What's a
deira.
bushula?
On the
On the
side.
sides. Shezeh hanikra tzikik deira. It means by pashtus. You cook a beautiful, delicious food. You take it out of the pot. That's the tev be'etzem. That food. Now you have a whole other thing. You have a bunch of stuff that's stuck to the pot.
She loves it for some reason.
That came. Almost came, from the burning. Actually, it's like leftover. It could even be, what do we call the bottom? It's like you usually don't eat it, but it gives off a smell.
It's supposed to be the best part. In some places, they consider that the best part.
Depends what kind of food.
The burnt.
Sometimes
the burnt,
it's disgusting.
Whatever.
She likes it, the princess.
Yeah.
And then there's also the story of the behemoth. There's the Siltalma. There's the behemoth that Sunday morning was happy because they would give the water. It was out of all the grease from the pot. Then one Sunday morning, there was no. The shifcha decided to throw out the pot, to throw out the water, and not leave it for the cow. So the cow stopped giving milk. Why? Because the cow going bregas. So that she still that the maid must have drank up the water. Just forgetting the cow to have the water, because the cow thinks like a cow. Why would she not give me the water? Because she must have drank it herself. Okay, it's fine. So what's going on here? Okay, so that's.
Look how he takes Maimer Chazal and takes it apart like every detail.
Omnom yezbezet tam kiyua v'charifis. Now here's the good side. In other words, so bottom line is it's bepashtus. It's just leftover. Remember, it's hifuche. It's from. It's. We're not talking about tev direct. We're talking about. He's talking here the menagid. What's the menagid here? That's just leftover. It's sticking to the pot. We don't know yet. Know what happens. Now something happens to this. Some magic happens to this leftover. However, this tam kiyua v'charifus, it has a sharp, pungent smell, shemeshiv hanefesh, that returns the neshama, that rejuvenates the neshama, mechazik halev, and strengthens, empowers or strengthens the heart, mitzad charifusei, because of its sharpness, umeriach reich chazik b'yeseh, and it gives off a very strong smell, shalazeh hareich yisaveh, Kol cholish halev nefesh, koniyash shetemala chasen lehishiv nafsha. Man alive, that's like an elaborate description here. So what is this? So this reyach is them is someone who has a weak of heart and spirit, the koniyash, like an emptiness,
Void.
I guess that's the shifcha. That's the
Bas Melech.
that she had a void, she had an emptiness and a weakness.
So she had a,
But this smell got to her.
so why should
Shetamala chesreina lehishiv nafsha.
that?
It's chesreina. In other words, for her, it's like, I'm not saying he doesn't use this example, but let's say smelling salts. You don't give smelling salts to a healthy person.
So that's why she's embarrassed.
It's not
Didn't
becoming
finish it.
to eat from the. It's like going and you're making.
But let's not go to the becoming. Let's first talk about what it does for her. So she has now this. She's very drawn to this great strong smell because in her weakness or in her, I guess, state, maybe she's very hungry, whatever it is. The smell is filling the void.
Look at this.
Because of her hunger. See, this is like the Halamas state. Because she's
They're providing her the Madane Melech. She has the tafshil.
Yeah.
She can take the tafshil she wants. She wants Davka the Tzigik Day.
Okay, so in some ways, it could be that this pleasure, and this reach, and this smell is stronger from the lights of the melech.
Because it's not limited to Tafshon. It goes back to the
V'zehu,
source.
one second, let's finish.
You're skipping a stage, and that's
Tafshil is a
unlimited.
food, a cooked food.
It's the potential.
V'zehu pirush hamoshel lebas melech sheregilo b'taimim arevim b'dakas ha'inu.
That's why she doesn't want that.
So this is the pirush.
She's so used to good foods, now she wants the real burnt stuff.
I would humbly suggest, let's see how the Rebbe Rashab concludes.
Go ahead.
We're all reading into it.
Go ahead.
Taking work shame.
Go ahead.
Professor, you're jumping to the gun. He's probably going to say something about it. Right?
Zog.
V'zehu pirush hamoshel lebas melech sheregilo b'taimim arevim. This is the explanation of the moshel of the bas melech. Because she's accustomed to taimim arevim, sweet, and the bedakus ha'enig v'atam be'etzem kol advorim ha'tevim. She's accustomed in general to sweet and subtle, pleasurable tastes. Be'etzem, teinig atzmi in other words. Kol advorim ha'tevim. Be'etzem kol advorim. All good things. She's not an eved. She's not a maid. She's not a servant. She's a bas melech. Bas melech is living in the house of the king. House of the king.
Those types of sweet
The
tastes that
etzem.
have dakus and
The best food.
She gets the etzem called on. She gets mama. She doesn't get the side pieces. She gets the etzem of called on.
Oh, but
That's Ayin Beis, and that's Ayin Beis, and now he wants to tie it
but from time to time, when the keich hanefesh, the spirit gets weakened, and she's not receiving pleasure from the malachim, from the good foods that are presented on the king's table. Yochalish nisava shehisava hanefesh shetisava hanefesh behericha reyachaza kakosha v'tzikik dei ledavka shezem evshem. So in a time like that, when she has some type of weakness, whatever that means, weakness, so then it could be that's when she'll have a taiva dafka to the smell. She's sitting by a table and have all the lights, but she smells from the kitchen is coming something from the bottom of the pot, and that is dafka reaches her.
It's like the difference with lechem and reach in general.
Yeah.
The lechem just gives you food. Right.
But dugma mizel l'mayla. What's the dugma l'mayla? The bas melech hilah. We talked before bas melech hilah dach bechinas malchus datzilis.
Melechila.
Dugma mizel l'mayla, but bas melech hilah bechinas malchus datzilis.
Melechila is chachma datzilis. Bas melechila is malchus datzilis.
Yeah. It's bechinas malchus datzilis. Bechinas dibura elyon. Now he's adding. What's malchus datzilis? Is dibura elyon. It's the supernal word. The mouth, okay, taste. So in other words, dibur, malchus is dibur. And what's dibur? Dibur consists of the 5 different, what do we call them, gutturals? The 5 different...
one of the 5 is a guttural.
Right, 5 different mitzois apeh, that's good, yeah. 5 different sounds that come out of it.
From the gutter,
Right.
or from the
Throat.
from
From the tongue.
lips, and
And the
teeth.
cheek. Teeth, yeah. Who b'chinas is galus harotzen v'chochmeh u'midas that still shemeinim is gal b'chinas malchus. Okay, let's take this step by step. What is the level here? This is harotzen, the Eibishter zotzen and chochmeh and midas, the whole spheres, keser, chabad, chagas, nihi, is meir, is radiates and reveal the malchus. Okay.
That's deep.
Another, yeah, because dibur is the channel. Dibur, what do you say? What does the Eibush say? That which comes from his rotzen, from his chachma, from midas. So dibur is basically the expression of all the keiches of the in Atzilus. Okay,
It's
that's
all
malchus.
deeper. Everything was created with deeper.
Right, comes, but the dibur is simply a channel. Okay, 1 second. The chol, so he says like u'kamayim beis dispariya be kol nehurim nilon. Some avov, he talks a lot about this. Yeah, that's where he says like this, that the ben, same like the bas melech, the king, the basis we're talking about is the palace. Dort Spiriu, dort what's the Spiriu? Spiriu is as a gespart. But in a very Pari Meloshin Spiriu Kol Neherim. That's where the Loshins comes from. Spiriu is more than just it's when like a blast
in a
out.
wild way, because Spiriu means reveal. It also means wild.
Yeah. But basically, it's an explosion.
So I think
It's like an explosive.
Sometimes
Spiriu Kol Neherim. All the higher Eris.
Usually.
Okay, bottom line is that the Bas Melech, she said, can have all the food. So here's the Mimshal. Just like the Bas Melech can have all the food, what is it in Ruchnis? Malchus has access to the whole Atzilus. Rotzen and Chachm and the whole Melech. Everything the Melech has, Malchus has.
Still, she wants to go down.
Exactly. Bia, that's the thing. So Malchus has Ispiriu Kol Nohen, she's living in a house, in a king's palace. The Hain, the Chole Eres Me'irim is going beginning some Malchus. Alle Eres, alle food, all the Madani HaMelech. The Hain Eres. One second. The Hain Eres v'Giluyim she's b'm Einig be'etzem. So the Einig be'etzem. And these Eres v'Giluyim have be'etzem Einig. There's great pleasure, the essential pleasure. She's beginning Eres the Tikkun, beginning Shema.
It's like Eres be'etzem Tikkun?
Yeah.
Right now, it's spoken, yeah. Tikkun and Teu, remember?
Yeah, but I thought.
Hold on. The EU Eirech Atzilus. The Shema, the EU Eirech Atzilus. This is okay. Atzilus.
The way of Atzilus.
Yeah. Ukamayma Zal Din Hanyele. Din Hanyele, that he has.
These are beneficial for him, whatever.
Right. Yeah. So bottom line is that there's all the Einig in Shema of Atzilus that the Bas Melech has access to. Right.
Not only has access, but it's.
The B'chinas Atikun Zeh B'chinas Teiv Be'etzem. Uhu B'chinas Einig Atzmi. This level is not talking about Atik. He's talking.
No, it's okay. It's Tikkun.
But
The next one is even lower. Yeah.
The Einig of Muskal, all the Einig. Remember, maybe now that's the Muslim. Muskalis, Chesed. Muskalis is Seichel. Chesed is Dachmidas. And the first thing was what?
Food is all the way down.
Yeah, so.
Gashmi.
But he just said now, Stimmt mit der alle drei. Because he said Rotzen, right? Rotzen, Chachma, Midas. So, hat man alle Sachen da. Cheder.
The Nimshal.
Yeah.
The
begin stikken ze begin steeds om begin zijn gas met wie immer hier staat zullen zo gam kemashin is baram begin sateo.
Aha, so why are you saying that it's later?
Yeah.
Is also
no, but but we said this. So even he just said that Atzilus is the king's palace, has everything, all the delights.
Right.
Be'etzem, not through going through any outside. You don't need the smell of anything, you know. So he's saying, but he's bavaring. But if Atzilus any be'etzem, but even though we say Atzilus is really what comes after the refinement of Toihu.
So it's not any be'etzem.
So there's already a birur there to a certain extent.
In the Ikka Mashin is bar, because Toihu is a Kalim Atzilus.
That's it.
The Ikka was his bar from Toihu is Kalim of Atzilus.
Omnum
Mashmosa, it's Chaim who the Gam by Iris. Oh, 1 second.
It's like it belongs in a parenthesis.
Yeah. Okay. Taking us for a ride.
You ought to hold on tight.
Yeah, because this is all. Omnum Mashmois Eitz Chaim, verstehst?
Indeed.
Did you when you learned Eitz Chaim, you also felt that way that there's a Mashmois from Eitz Chaim. In other words, Eitz Chaim alludes as appears from Eitz Chaim.
He's saying, I just getracht anders.
Yeah. Who the Gam be'eres yesh mashins bar b'chinas Tehu. So also the eres of Atzilus have from Tehu.
So back to the old question.
Right, l'chayda that Atzilus.
Indeed, Mashmos Eitz Chaim Take the Gamba.
You do a shazel mashins baram o maila lamata o boba Atzilus b'chinas erim avura kvar. V'zel b'chinas shema. In other words, it's not a bir that comes mata lamaila like we're going to learn about biyah. That's taka bir from Tehu, but it's coming mo maila lamata. And when Atzilus gets it already ready-made. Bottom line, he's saying like this: the foods in the king's palace are delicious. How they got there, they came
from a cow.
They came,
That's on the game.
But here, no, because it's not a bitter from like that. The bottom line is you're getting pleasure, and that's it.
It's like the difference between Torah and davening.
I don't know. I'm not sure. I want to see what he says the other side. That's important. It's coming already.
So the ikar is that it's a oil tikkun and it's a oil that's already there easily.
Yeah.
And
Yes, he's just look. It's being thorough. He's bavon. He could have skipped this and just we wouldn't even know, right? Who would know that?
No, because someone would see that it's Chaim, would have a problem. He's answering.
Want to skip the
There you
process
go.
for a moment?
I think
What's
skip
that?
the rent and go back to it.
How long is it?
It's long. It's long.
Where does it end?
So the bottom here,
Seven lines.
Okay, you want to skip it?
I think so.
I
Makes
hate
it's
it.
easier.
Okay, fine. We'll go. Okay, fine. He's v'zel b'chinas shema. Fine. Okay. V'gam hakem datzilas heim b'alakus mamish. Oh, this is the edus. So even the mashmos of Eitz Chaim is the mavur kvar. Fine. And even the kelim of atzilas are alakus mamish. V'nichlu gamkin b'shema.
Even though it's coming from Torah.
Rak shehem b'chinas ban dema. And shemevim u'megalim b'chinas ban d'shema. He says
Slow. So what happened? Eh?
So in other words, the edus is the chatchila shem nizbar kfas, even though it came from Tayu. Even the kelim are also lakus. You don't call them sikik. They're not klipa chas v'shalom. They're lakus. They're also shemat, but it's the ban shebema because they came from Tayu. That's it. Shemavim u'megalim b'chinas ban the shema k'mashukos v'makamach. And then he says, he gives an example. K'moya teira. She chachma bruda. The Torah is a chachma bruda. Klora wisdom. The hainu mashakfan is barada mol maila. The bechinas hatikun be'etzem. So it's like Torah, like you said, Torah that it's already nizbarada and it's already tikun be'etzem, tainik be'etzem. U'kanei de shagama esis the Torah shebiksav and esis the ma.
That's what it means.
So, 1 second. So even the esis of the written Torah are also esis the ma. So bottom line is, even though this whole thing is just bavon b'tayu, bottom line atzilus the tikkun it's enig be'etzem b'chol davar atei be'etzem.
And the other is irrelevant.
Or it came bottom line atzilus chol nizbar. Valzen nemar achlu reim shehem reim. What are reim? That's chachma bina shehem chachma bina. The French. She has beginners enig murgish be'echel the chachma the chayich.
No, she yesh beginners only morgash ba'oichel
The
the
chachma.
chachma. The chayich oichel yita. The palate tastes the food. Chayich of the palate, oichel yita it tastes the food.
So there's an
Where's the
enig
palate?
murgish.
Up here. So that's the chayich. I thought the chayich is the inner side of the cheek.
Chayich.
Okay, the palate is up there. Okay, yeah.
Chayich. Okay, that so you have enig murgish be'echel from what he eats. The chachma. The echel the chachma. The chayich echel yitem. Okay, fine. And chachma and bina. So you have the pleasure.
Bina.
V'nimshach gam. 1 second. V'nimshach gam b'chinas malchus. Now going back to malchus. This all comes down to malchus. This is the bas melech. U'kamesha koser bosa legani. Achalti yari. U'kamaya taimim the seders v'rozen daraisa. Like the time of the reason, the secrets of the Torah. Shemesukim mitvash. That are sweeter than honey. Nikred Voshi Yaini V'chalili. She's bringing rayas of all this geschmack that's not silas in Torah. We didn't even get to the
He didn't say the other side.
next one. The next Pedic.
What?
I'm saying the other side.
The next Pedic will be
Going back to the
Abchinas
beginning.
B'Selas HaShefa. The next Pedic will be going to the other. Okay. So bottom line is that so the beginning of the mashal is that the Bas Melech on her own has the whole
Wait, what?
Atzilus.
Parentheses. What's in there?
I have to actually go in a few minutes myself to go to the
Parentheses.
Yeah, let's do the parentheses.
Yeah, okay. First, bottom line. Go ahead.
So bottom line is what we got here so far. Remember the Nimshal is that the Bas Melech, let's go back, the Nimshal, the Bas Melech, she's accustomed all the time to beautiful, delicious foods. In the Nimshal, that's Atzilus. Malchus Atzilus has access to the whole Atzilus, which is great stuff. Atzilus comes from Tayu, it's ready. So side the Eidus, side the Kalim, are a Lakus. The Eidus is quite, it's like already, it has already all the Kwan is battered. And even the Kalim is Ban Shebema. Fine. So bottom line, like Teda, when you learn Teda, it's clear Chachmeh, and it has all the pleasures, like he said, the honey and the sweetness and Al-Zach Chachmeh, it has all the Giluyim. He's going to clearly say, but then there's a time when the Nefesh is weak. And then this is not enough. It needs to go down. It wants to have the bottom of the pot. The great smell that comes from that. I guess that's going to be the reich of karbonis. And the tzilis is
In
the
other
reich
words,
of
despite the
potatoes.
fact that it's getting all of the tremendous quality tanugim, it
That it could
still
get.
feels weak. And
L'paimim,
it still
l'paimim.
feels it's not enough. I want more.
Or more or something
I'm
else.
talking about
Yeah.
the nimshal and the neshama.
Yeah. But probably, he's going to probably fit. I mean, the way he's being thorough here, trust me, he's going to not leave any stone unturned.
Oh, to take a Maimar Chazal and be so. You're the one of Chazal. You take it
No,
easy.
that's why I want to see the Gemara down inside Zentake. What's
Talking about Baruch
You
Shem.
don't think I'm a Chazal. It's so serious.
Talking about Baruch
No, but you
Shem.
see, Yossi,
It's
the
a
thing
muzzle.
is, it's beautiful if you then teach this by Mechazal to someone. And he probably could ask kashas that Dafke Primus at their answers. Because, like I said, the Gemara is probably a little strange. You have to really know what it says there.
First of all, what is after your bas melech?
That's
No,
for sure.
take a mile-
That
mile-
right away is clear. That's beautiful. Second of all, the whole being accustomed, what food is she accustomed to? Why is it a gnai? It's made yeah. It could be a beautiful presentation. So let's do the Maimar Amuzliya. The parentheses, huh? Okay. We're doing can we do the parentheses? Yoshi, Dinosaurs?
What?
We're doing the parentheses,
Yeah, for sure. Sure.
Okay, when you get the Kabbalah
The-
figured out, you let me know.
I'm going to do it quickly because I...
Okay, let's do it.
The Gam, Shema, Datzil, Zemashin is Bar, Rakli, Shabir. Okay. Oh boy. Another kasha, within the kasha. Even Shema, forget about Shema, is also Abir. Zemashin is Bar. Rakli Shabir bezel Momaila, Alken is Bar, Betachlis Abir, Beyesh Shem bezel Shum Taruvis, Pselis Kla. Even Shema of Atzilis is also Abir. But this type of refinement is so refined that it doesn't have any pselis. It's the pot without any residue. It's
I'm listening.
the pot without this. Doesn't have any pselis, doesn't have any leftovers. In Atzilis, it's an eir atzmi. It's an essential energy that doesn't have any nefila shvira.
It's a perfect cooking. There's no
Right,
burning at the bottom.
exactly. No nefila, no shvira. Meredik.
Like
Yeah.
a man.
Yeah. ונעשה בכינס עיר, את גם שלא בכינס עיר. ויש להם, כמו שבאביר השני דשמה, okay. It's two bit rishon, bit sheni. Okay. יש להם, just like the bit sheni of shema. הרי ידוע שהזה נכלול עם הניצוצות דבייה בקדושת האצילוס ונעשה לקוס ממש.
Biyah becomes a likus mamish.
Right. וזהו ההבדל בין הביר הראשון למטה למעלה, הביר השני למעלה למטה. The bir milmata l'mayla hu lahafrid ateiv min hara is to separate the good from the bad, hu la'aleisi l'mayla, and to elevate it. Aval eina nichla adayin belakus. V'abir hasheni d'shema milmayla matu shenichla b'kedusha salakus that's v'nasa alakus mamash. The second bir, it's what it says about malageda. Like the first one, the first birur, like you see this a lot of times, like when you have to, let's say, separate the wheat from the
Chaff.
right, or other things like that. There's two birurim many times. First time you just let's clean up, get rid of that. Then you can take the clean remainder and then bring it into. So you always need to have like two stages of
Disha and
refinement.
Zriya, threshing and winnowing.
Okay,
Wow. Wow. Wow.
there you go. Yeah. So there's two birurim. So the first birur gets rid of the tevera. And the second one elevates it into kedusha and becomes a lakus mamish. Shehu came b'tchilas habirur milmayla lamata. And if this is the case, when there's the two birurs rishon hasheni, for sure when it comes to the birur milmayla lamata b'madrega al yenish nechlol mamish b'madrega is erin sov the tikkun b'chinis milach shmini hadar b'chinis yisei da'ak. Okay, basically. There's another birur where there's only the birur mamayla lamata in Atzilus. This is the Bel Melch Shmini. You know the in the Tayu there were the Malachim. There were the 8 Malachim that died. Malchi Esav. You know Shvir Sakelim. You know what the root of it is, and the Pasha V'Yishlach. The Malachim from Esav. So Melch Shmini, his name is Hadar. He's bechinis Yisei Da'ak. Connected the Zion. The Zion Malchi is the tail. Yeah, the Zion Malachim. the 7 and 8. You know, the Zayin Malachim Detenu B'chinas Malchus Da'ak. Shezeh B'chinas Chetzeni Yisak. Let's just read it.
Melech Shmini.
HaMelech Shmini Hadar Sheresh HaTikun B'chinas Yisei Dak Sheh B'chinas Primi Yisak. K'mo shekoseh b'Likutei Torah Da L'Natzeach Al Shmini. So b'Shosh B'chinas Chu Shmei Shem Echad Shel Hamayla Ma Zayin Shem Es HaKlulim Ba'atzmus. K'mo shekoseh b'Abir Dvanin Nasati Be'Sofos Torah Erev B'Mokem Achar. Sham hu abir dat silas b'chinas ma'ilamato v'nichol mamash b'drei zu v'nasa b'chinas el tikun be'etzem v'ayim asher kosev l'kutera b'abir d'mimona. Okay. That's why I said in the Maimer Muslim, man, is this thorough?
Huh?
This is so thorough. Ooh.
941.
Doesn't leave anything unturned. Okay. Bottom line, what he said here. Okay. Bottom line, what he's saying is, I mean, he's just really elaborating a little more, and he needs a little more explanation here because of the levels. But essentially, he's saying is that bottom line is Atzilus Yatak is Abirur from Tehu, but Atzilus focuses on the Lakus part of it, not the Birur of negative. It's not the Birur of the negative. It's the Kedusha. Even Birur Sheni, Birur Rishon. So Birur Rishon takes it out from Tehu Ra. But the Birur Sheni, clearly that's Atzilus, is Kedusha. And then when you speak about Birur Chatchila Birur Sheni, where he says it's a Mamayel Lamata thing, so altogether it's the level. What he says, the 8th king, Primis Ak. That's the level of Atzmus. It's only Kedusha. There's no Mamat Lamayla there. There's no Klippa basically. That's essentially what he's saying here. But you need to explain all these levels. Bottom line is that in Atzilus, clearly, what he says is that the Birur, remember he's talking about that Atzilus, Tikkun is a Birur from Tehu. Tehu, Shviras HaKelim, had 8 kings. The 7 kings is Mamish Klippa. But the Tikkun is really focuses on the 8th, and the 8th is really a level that's a much more, the Kedusha of it. That's basically what he's saying.
Like the difference between the Tzaddik and the Bain.
It's a Sheresh HaTikkun b'chinas Yisei Da'ak, Primis, not the 7 Malach. Like, not the Zayin Shem, it's the Shema Etzem. That's really what he's saying. So it comes down as Atzilus, underlying, bottom line is Atzilus. I mean, this really is like grounds it, but Atzilus is Kedusha. And then the next is going to be the Bas Melech.
So it wants to be a Balchut, that's why Balchut was higher than a Tzaddik.
He goes all the way to the Malachim, the Baruch Shem, it covers the Gemara as if it's after. Wow. He doesn't even answer the question until 2 Prakim later.
Wow.
About
Stay tuned for next week.
Man alive. It's good stuff. At the end of this time, he goes back to the Mumutza with Kesed. No way, he's not less than stuff.
One long collar.
I have to go to the oil cup to speak there for a group. I'd love to if I bring more. If I bring some noon. Haven't seen you in a while. How are you?
Say l'chaim for your father-in-law.
Yeah.
Father-in-law's brother.
He's saying that he doesn't know what you said.
Baral Mashke.
Stop it.
He doesn't
Some say
understand
everything,
that.